good, John.
Hey, thanks, Napoleon.
Yeah, hey, welcome to Schopfield Music.
Hi!
One more time.
That's John,
That's Napoleon.
and we're here in my basement.
There's no split screen here.
No, we're really here. So what do we got going on today?
Well, today I wanted to showcase some tones on this new amplifier that we just got. This is part 2 of the Marshall SV20.
I think that's
I
it.
think that's SV20
Well,
Vintage.
I know there's an unboxing video. We'll go ahead and link that up for you so you can check out the part 1.
My tech guy, he's really good about that. Yes, so this is a 5/20 watt Plexi Marshall amplifier. So you can get all of the inside views and some of the other shots in the unboxing video. But here we're going to showcase some tones. We wanted to see if we couldn't get some clean tones with crunch tones, and then of course your lead tones with your Les Paul style guitars and your Stratocaster style guitars that you see here. So we're hoping that we can find this this happy medium where we can just pick up a guitar and maybe find a clean sound that's already on the amplifier that I don't have to do any adjustments, and I can get it all right here with my volume knob on my guitars.
I know that's how you like to play.
It's always how I've kind of set up everything, to just play with that being my my lead tone, is just rolling up my volume. So.
All right, and so today we've got your amp running into your aux,
That's right, the aux.
and then into our PA system here coming out of the speakers.
That's right.
So we don't have your actual cabinets here today,
We don't.
but a lot of times we're in studios or in bedrooms or homes, we don't want to be super loud, even though I think they made this so that it's not as loud as a traditional one, right?
They made it not as loud as a traditional 100 watter,
But it's still pretty...
but this 5 watts is a scorching 5 watts. It will, if you play this through a cab, which you'll see in the unboxing, I played through a 1x12 open back cab, and it was piercing.
It was loud, louder than...
You're not going to record in a studio or a bedroom with just that. So,
so we're going into your aux,
going into the aux.
which you can't see because I'm sitting here. Sorry.
Any case.
Anyways, yeah, so the aux is just it attenuates that loudness.
Yes, it's a digital cabinet emulator that takes the sound, and you can use it as an attenuator. So I can hook a cabinet up to here, and we can safely listen to the amplifier cranked up, but at a much more comfortable decibel for our ears. So we can do that with the attenuation side of the aux, and we'll get into reviews on the aux later. Right now, we just wanted to get these out here, these tones.
But another thing that the aux can do, if I'm not mistaken,
What's that?
if you do not have a cabinet and you just have the head,
Oh yes,
it can emulate cabinets.
correct. And so there's no need for a cabinet here, which
That's what we're doing today.
my buddy here has a Kemper on the other side. You can't see it now, I don't think. Maybe you
Yeah,
can.
you've probably seen the Kemper in a few videos. That's how I rock it.
And so the aux is basically, I think, the same thing as the Kemper. They're both doing the same thing.
Well, except you get to do it with actual tube amp heads.
Right.
And I am getting digital profiles of your
Right.
tube amp heads.
Of the tube amp.
Thank you very much for that, by the way.
You're very welcome,
Okay.
Napoleon.
As we were saying, that's how we're running into everything today that you're going to hear.
Right.
And there will be a part 3 with some cabinets.
Yes, part 3 is
And
going
I
to...
do say cabinets, is that correct?
Yes, in fact, actually, as we speak, there is a Christmas time box again from UPS sitting at my house. I have the 2x12 cabinet coming. I liked this amp so much that the 1x12 was great, but that 2x12 that's slanted and the V-type speaker that comes with that, I am thoroughly impressed with the sounds that are coming out.
Right, and so you're going to have an open back and a closed back.
Correct.
A 1x12 and a 2x12.
Correct.
That'll be interesting to see what you can get out of this.
Yes, I think it's going to be fun. I'm definitely going to have to pay attention to reverb. You're going to find some new items for sale. You can find that at Guitars and Music Gear at Shop's Shop.
You know, I feel like you are coming into my basement
And selling stuff?
and then promoting your site.
Well, guess what my site does also?
Well, I certainly hope your site would include some of the things that I sometimes
My
sell.
site also sells stuff for Schopfield Music South. That's right, folks.
That'd be here.
Schopfield Music South here. When you see me up there in the other studios, you'll see Schopfield North. We need to coax this guy to come up to Schopfield North next time.
I do not go north of the wall.
What do you think? Write it in the comments.
So, in one of the comments on part 1,
Yes.
I know a guy or girl, I don't know whom it was. The handle didn't really specify. So, in one of the comments, someone mentioned that this amp, would really come to life probably with some worn-in greenbacks.
Yeah, that's right. I think I remember you talking to me about that one.
Right. So we did see that comment. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And as we mentioned, we're going through the aux, and I keep turning around looking. I'm sorry, we have the controls for the aux here.
Right.
You can control the aux on an iPad. So we're going through the aux, and as we mentioned, we do not have a cabinet. We're emulating the cabinet through your aux.
Part 3 will have the cabinets, and we can
Right.
play with that. We won't have greenbacks in the cabinets, but eventually
Right.
I would like to play with that someday.
But we do have greenbacks up in here
In this studio,
through the aux.
and we're able to make them worn in or broken in a
Correct.
little bit.
So we've got them broken in a little bit. It looks like we're going through a 4x12 cabinet.
Yes.
With greenbacks. And we're 3 mics.
Yes, you have a room mic and then the two mics on
Two
the
mics
cabinet.
on the cabinet and then a room mic. That's what we are emulating through here. And there's plenty of videos about that. And
Right.
John, I wouldn't mind you going into a little bit more details about your aux someday.
Yes, as soon as I feel like I think I have this thing under control, I would like to do a
Right.
once-over on the aux. I'm still finding little things here and there, so I'm having some fun with it, but I'm getting
enough.
close to where I think I'm feeling comfortable with it.
Yeah, same here. That's why you'll get a review of my Kemper in about 6 years.
I'm with you.
Right. So with the greenbacks, we're all set up. We're going through the PAs now. Let's hear what the amp can do.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a little clean noise on a Les Paul style guitar, so you guys get an idea what the humbuckers are going to be like.
Yeah, I noticed that when you plug it in here, you got this cable connecting one of the input 1s to the input 2.
That's right. We're doing the Marshall jump, Napoleon. That
Okay.
is kind of what they used to do back in the day, where they would actually see this amplifier has 2 channels, a normal and a high treble, and so
That would be 1 and 2.
1 and 2, correct?
That makes
And then
sense.
you have 2 inputs for each channel, so you have 4. That was always the dead giveaway if you saw a Marshall name on the gold and black Tolex, and if it had 4 inputs, you basically were looking at a plexi style or plexi Marshall. So what you do is, this is all new to me because I've never played a Marshall, so this is a lot of fun. I'm learning this, and so the 1 channel is your high treble, and so naturally the high treble.
And 2 would be low treble.
2 is what they call normal, which is
Normal,
actually a little
okay.
darker sounding.
Okay.
And
what-
hence the 2 difference in the styles of guitars you have here, an S style or a Les Paul
Okay.
style
Now.
guitar.
Okay. So and that goes by because they're pickups.
Correct, the pickups.
So those have humbuckers.
Humbuckers.
And those are single coils. And
Correct.
I know because you tell me all the time. Humbuckers have a higher output. They're fuller sounding or
Well,
deeper, meaner.
Well, they can be
Oh,
high.
that's all the words you always use to describe it.
Yeah, I've been all over the place with pickups and trying to find myself in the guitar, actually.
All right, so which ones?
The humbuckers are going to come in darker.
Okay.
Than say a single coil. A single coil is going to have a brighter,
Right,
a little more biting sound.
Strat that's always real brittly sounding. So that's a brighter,
It's going to have a brighter sound.
especially on a maple neck.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Yeah, they say the maple necks have a lot more snap versus the rosewood. Rosewood is supposed to mellow that out a little bit, you know. You know.
So this is the dark one.
This is the dark one.
So
the
then in the
humbuckers.
amp, you'd want it to be
in the treble. In the
You
high
don't want to
treble
go
sound.
dark to dark.
Dark to dark? Nope, that's a little too much. I mean, you can. There's no wrong in music, certainly.
True, but they say that
You know, to stay with something that's a little more pleasing to the ear.
what we liked anyway.
Right, Schopfield music, we like. You know,
going into channel 1.
Going into channel 1 with the humbuckers just has a more pleasant sound.
And that's what we said was a low treble.
That was a high
no,
treble.
It's high treble. High
Correct.
treble.
Yes.
That's what we said was the high treble.
Low humbucker sounds go into the high treble.
Okay,
And then
cool.
our single coils, which we'll get to in a little bit here, they're like, as we said, they're a little bit more brighter sounding. So you're going to want to run those into a darker sounding side of the amplifier.
So that's when you flip-flop and you jump these. No, what's the jumping?
Now the jumping thing, that allows you to be able to blend the two channels now.
Oh, right.
So you basically have a mini mixer on your amplifier blending the two channels to taste. So, say...
So if you wanted a little dark in with the...
Yeah.
You can throw it in.
You have the ability to do that. Well, okay, let's get this. Say I have two Stratocasters. One Stratocaster isn't as high output pickup as the other one.
Hey!
And per se... Yeah.
I know where you're going with this.
That's right. So we have an American-made Fender Stratocaster here with American Fender pickups in there, and
yeah, that's correct.
And we've already kind of went back and forth with these to find out the tones and be able to tell you what we found.
This is a newer. It's still, I don't know, 10 years old, roughly almost.
It's a 2011.
Okay, so yeah, it's 2011, and the pickups from they're a little hotter than what you've got because you got a vintage styled.
Right. This was built by LSL Guitars, and it's the Carover High-End Signature Series. What they did was they went with a 50s style single coil, so they're really, really low output.
But these are a little higher output, so mine will be even more bright.
Right. But really, it's so minute that it just depends on.
But you're allowed to blend to taste for
blend to taste, right? And that was my thought. Was like,
Yeah.
Okay, so can I do that by jumping these things? And I found that I was able to do that, where I could take some of the brightness down and blend in some of the more normal side of the channel and darken it up a little bit to actually have the same sound from that guitar to that guitar.
Well, that, my friend, is versatility.
I like that.
I like that in my amps.
Well, and see, buying a Marshall, I was almost nervous and scared because I'm like, I'm buying a Marshall. I don't think that's very versatile, because nobody thinks that a Marshall can clean up and a Marshall can have beautiful, wonderful cleans. Everybody
We're
thinks
here
Fender.
to tell you can do it. We're going to show you how.
At least with my aux and with everything we've got set up here, the cleans we have been able to pull out of this, and that is with our volumes, high treble and normal treble on 4. Now we had a comment from somebody on YouTube that was wondering if you can clean up single coils
Yeah.
on 4 or 5
On
on the
4 or 5,
amplifier. And the answer is what we found running through the aux, greenbacks that are slightly broken in. Now you can choose different speakers to really get cleaner than that if you want.
Yeah,
but
we'll have to show them through the actual cabinets in part 3.
Yeah, in part 3 we'll go through different cabinets and I can play with that. But by rolling the volume on the guitar down to about 5 on mine, probably about 4 on yours, we could really get that awesome clean sound that, that just a sparkly clean. I mean, it was a Marshall clean, certainly.
Yeah.
It's a signature kind of clean, but to me it was very... we had some Pink Floyd tones coming out of this in a clean tone way.
Yeah, let's hear the tones.
say.
Let's hear the tones.
So yeah, we'll get on with this. We're going to start with our Les Paul style guitar, and we'll move to our single coil. So we're going to start off on, as I said, 4 o'clock on the volume knobs. I have my treble at about 10 o'clock. And the middle I've got bumped up quite a bit to 8. And I've got the bass on 8. And I've turned the presence completely off. As you can see, I have a PA speaker about 2 feet from my ear. And when I did the unboxing, even with the 1x12 open back cab, it was in your face. So, yeah, we're going to start off with that. I'm going to do...
and you're in channel 1 in the Marshall amp.
Yep, we're in the high treble channel 1 side of the Marshall amp. We're going to start off on around 4 on the volumes on the Les Paul here. We'll start with both pickups.
And this is just the amp.
This is just the amp, no pedals.
Gotcha.
I do have a compressor on. It's my Ego compressor by Wampler, but it's just one of those pedals that you leave on and forget. I've always done that. That's just, I like it.
I forgot already.
It adds a touch of sustain that I just can't live without. All right, I could show you without it, but
Middle pickup.
middle pickup position.
That's nice.
And all in how you pick the guitar, you can get it softer, you can get it quieter, you can break it up a little bit, you can get some grit. And that's all on just volume 4 with the Les Paul.
Yeah, so you crank that up.
So we'll go to 7, and I'll try to pick quietly here. I would call that a edge of breakup almost, Marshall clean kind of sound. And then when and this is all the way up, so you're going to be at the max distortion with no pedals, just using your Les Paul. Some what?
Bends.
Bends. Oh, I wants the blues licks.
Look at the bends.
So that was middle pickup.
That's nice.
There's your 2 pickups in
Yeah.
there.
I always like to play on the, because I'm just now getting into my Les Pauls. I like to play on the neck a lot when I'm playing my solo stuff. That just seems to be the cool.
Remember when we first started out years ago and we were jamming? And I started out on the Les Paul. So the Strat's new to me. I think the Les Paul is new to him.
Right.
We're switching our roles a little bit here. I did the same thing actually when I first started. I couldn't figure out the bridge pickup and the middle position. That had a lot to do with just my playing though. As a novice guitar player back then.
I see what you're saying.
And no, I'm just, and I wanted to say the reason I went to the neck pickup was because my idol at the time and still is to this day, Dwayne Allman, and every time I saw a video of him playing on stage, I think he was always in that neck position.
Well, I think that's how a lot of people start to play. They emulate who they like. And
Right.
then you get their gear, or you set up as close as you can to what
Right.
they were doing. Go from there.
That was my idol right there. I mean, that was just a dream to play like that. So I always hung out right there. But yeah.
Well, let's hear the bridge.
All right.
So now we're switching to the bridge, and that's more of a hotter tone.
Yep.
Who might use the bridge pickup a lot that we know?
Jimmy Page. I would say Jimmy Page. He would do the he would come in hot, of course. He'd be. I messed it up.
That's close enough.
That's closer.
Yeah, that's
So you can
nice.
hear Jimmy Page in the bridge pickup.
And I
for
always
sure.
do like, I think Billy Gibbons might have used
Oh, yeah.
the bridge a lot.
I wish I knew a little. I guess I got some fake ZZ Top here.
The big tone.
Are you ready?
And that's just me. That's good. Yeah. Now can you clean that up on
No.
the bridge too?
So that was only on 8, so we weren't all the way up. Yeah, so let's try to clean that up. Let's go down to 3.
Still on the edge of breakup.
Yeah,
there.
and that again, it's your humbuckers are definitely gonna
That's
come in.
not a bad
beefy.
thing. It's
No,
not a
that's
bad thing.
just a different sound. It's a different tone. I agree. It's
Yeah.
definitely there for that.
If you were gonna do some rhythm, well, you don't really play a lot of rhythm on the bridge.
I don't like to do that. No,
yeah.
that's why it says rhythm on a Les Paul up top.
Is that what that's for? Well, mine is upside down.
This is treble rhythm. On the rhythm pickup, coming in a little clean, we'll say around 4. You
That's not bad.
turn it back a little
I
bit.
said you're getting just a little breakup, but it's a nice breakup.
It's a nice breakup, yeah. Let's take it to 3 and try to really.
And then if that ends up not being loud enough, you can just adjust the volumes.
Right. You could do some other things to adjust volumes or what have you, and make that work for you if that's what you wanted, you know.
That's nice.
Clean sound on the rhythm pickup.
Yeah, and if you turn that all the way up, it gets a little dirtier.
There's 10, and we'll just try to play like a simple chord.
I don't know you're doing chords when you get off that.
No, you're not going to want to play rhythm and chords like that, but you can come down here and go.
Get some nice bluesy stuff going, yeah. Oh, yeah. With that tone.
That's always been my favorite lead sound.
Now we should mention that we do have a little plate reverb going through.
Oh, that's right, on the aux, right?
On the aux. I just wanted to. I can definitely hear it.
And the 1176 SE compressor as well. So.
Right.
And those are all stock settings. I didn't get in and actually change any details on that.
Just if you have the aux,
right,
that's what you're going to end up with.
Right.
Going through PAs.
I didn't mess with any of the speakers. Speakers. I didn't mess with any of the microphones. Those, whatever that stock setting is with those 4x12 greenbacks that you can pick. That's what you're hearing. So anybody can pull that tone out at home with the aux.
We dated the greenbacks a little bit, and that was about it.
Yeah, that was the only...
So what you're hearing is this.
You're hearing just the amp.
This.
No pedals. Again, just the ego compressor wampler.
That sounds really nice just there. Now, let's give it a little added flair there with the pedal.
Throw in some stuff.
You're the pedal man of the group here.
I try not to be the pedal guy, but I always end up playing with way too many.
Yeah, I hear you. Mine are all digital. So what do you got?
I've been having fun with my digital Eventide, though.
Yeah? So give us one. What do we got to go through here?
So the Archer is always a very good clean boost. It's actually going to take your amp sound and just emphasize it a little bit more, meaning...
Because you like to get all your tone pretty much
from the amplifier. That's why I'm really big on our volume knobs and working these and understanding these. Yeah, so, you know, I'll take the Archer and... that's off. It's going to give it a little bit more grit and stuff. You know, volumes aren't so much. And
it doesn't color the tone a whole lot.
You want it to sound like the amp. You know, you want the amp to just be a little bit hotter is all. So that's what that's going to do.
So that's only if you need it to just push a little more.
Right. In my eyes, it's like you could take a Plexi and turn it into an 800 by using a pedal. With the JCM 800, you can...
Now, you might get a lot of haters for that comment.
Yeah, well, you know. Leave them in the comments. I'll gladly talk to you about it. You know, I think you can get a JCM 800 sound by using a pedal. I've been able to emulate that. Maybe it's due to the digital stuff that I'm running into.
It's the best of both worlds.
But I've heard also other guys talk, I don't know for sure, but you can take the JCM 800 though and get the Plexi tone to a degree. Oh man, that just sounds nice. I got goosebumps, people. I love that sound.
Good. Well, that is the Les Paul.
That's our Les Paul, you bet. Oh, I might add, I'd like to add one more thing on the pedals. The delays were running into the effects loop of the Marshall.
That's right.
So we were using the effects loop on the Marshall.
Now, am I correct that the original Marshalls didn't have an effects loop?
Correct. The original Marshalls didn't have that. This one does. And there's actually an on-off button. So you can, if you don't want it in the circuit whatsoever, so you can be true vintage. There's an on-off button back there.
Not bad.
And also there's a DI. I've yet to find out if it has speaker emulation built in, cabinet built, you know, on the DI output on the back of the amplifier. I read somewhere that somebody said yes it does, but then I've read some other places, other people said no. So please comment down below if you know.
Yeah, if you know, I'd love to hear that.
I want to know if the DI on the back of this actually has a built-in cabinet emulator already in it, or do I have to run IRs, say from an outsourced place once I run it into the mixer. I'd like to know that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so
Well, John, I really like the sounds you get out of that guitar.
thanks, Napoleon. I
Coming
appreciate
through that Marshall amp.
I've been in love since we unboxed this thing.
So that concludes the Gibson Les Paul portion through your amp.
So yes, we're going to label this part 2. Part 3 is going to be our Fender Stratocaster
Yeah. So
style guitar.
Yeah. So that's correct. The S style.
S-style guitar.
So let's switch these around, get that going, and we'll wrap this one up, and we'll see you right back here for part 3. Just like this.
Cheers.